Shoestring TV presents The Arnie Special, a Louise Brawn story.
Leo sits at his desk in the Devil's Den as he attempts typing out a report of his last hunt. However, Leo's fingers just rest on the keys as his cigarette burns in the ashtray on his desk. To anyone passing by, Leo looks as though he was reading over his report. In reality, Leo's mind is filled with images of his wife and son.
Those things will kill you.
Leo was suddenly back in his own reality, staring at his report when he realizes someone is talking to him.
I'm sorry, what?
Smoking. I said those things will kill you.
Kinda late for that now, don't you think?
Yeah, we're all going out for a drink. You coming?
Nah, I'm good.
Leo opens the bottom drawer of his desk and pulls out a bottle of bourbon.
Besides, if I ever need a drink, I'm always packing.
Okay, Leo. But you know where to find us if you change your mind.
Leo waves the former actor off and is just about to return to his memories when Willie stops at the door and looks back with one last attempt.
Oh, yeah. Felix told me to tell you that they're now serving Reuben sandwiches.
Leo looks up as if he's about to respond, but freezes. Suddenly, his memory shifts from his wife of 25 years back to when he was just out of the academy.
I regret that I was never able to give Louise a proper honeymoon. We got married just before I joined the force, and once I graduated, I was immediately assigned to Philly's East Side precinct. We were just kids, Louise and I. She had dreams of having a nice home with lots of kids, but all I wanted was my own garage where I could work on my car or fix my own lawnmower. I can remember that old apartment we had on Juniper Street. It was small, but it was all we needed. Louise would wake up before my alarm clock so she could make me a healthy breakfast before I went to work. Yeah, she was beautiful inside and out.
Leo is dipping his toast into his dippy egg before bringing the wet egg and yolk-covered bread to his mouth and eating. Louise's brow furrows as she watches her husband scarf down the food she made for him.
Hey, big man, you're gonna give yourself indigestion if you don't slow down.
Sorry, sweetheart, but you're an amazing cook.
Leo eyes the clock and notes that he only has a few minutes before he's supposed to meet Arnie.
I suppose I could have told her that I was running late, but I thought telling her I enjoyed her cooking would be more satisfying.
Leo kissed Louise and was about to head for the door when she stopped him.
Don't forget your hat, honey. 2 weeks on the job. You can't forget your hat more than twice, you know.
Leo grabs his hat and sack lunch and points to Louise.
And that's why I love you.
That's why?
As Leo opens the door and steps out onto the stoop, he notices Arnie's car is parked in front of his apartment building.
Come on, we're gonna be late.
Leo jumps down the stoop and hops into Arnie's 1979 forest green Chevy Malibu. The once cool car is now aged with rust due to the salt that's used on the roads for the harsh Philadelphia winters.
When the hell are you ever going to paint this thing?
When the hell are you gonna help me?
Arnie accelerates through a yellow traffic light and speeds off towards their precinct. Leo and Arnie are partnered up in a patrol car and cruising the east side of Philly in the department-marked Chevy Impala.
Hey, when the hell am I ever going to get to drive?
When my life insurance policy is paid up. Until then, I'm not taking any chances with you behind the wheel, rookie.
Before Leo could come back with his own doozy, the radio squelches with a call.
All units in the vicinity of Center City East to 11 in progress.
Leo sits up, hits the sirens and lights before jotting down all the information on his notepad as Arnie heads in the direction of the address given. Leo then picks up the mic and reports back to dispatch.
Car 22 en route.
Ah, damn, I was hoping to stop at Harry's Deli for lunch.
Leo clutches the door handle with his right hand and braces his weight with his left hand against the dashboard as Arnie nearly puts the car up on two wheels, making a sharp right turn onto Chestnut Street.
Oh, easy, man. Your insurance isn't paid up yet, remember?
The two young police officers laugh with excitement as they speed through Philadelphia's east side. When they arrive at the given address, Leo spots two men with shotguns running from a nearby establishment. One of the men raises their shotgun and shoots towards the patrol car.
Son of a bitch!
Leo was about to notify dispatch of shots fired when suddenly the car accelerates and Leo hears Arnie scream out in anger.
Ah, you wanna shoot at me?
Without warning, Ernie inadvertently slams head-on with another vehicle intended to be the getaway car for the masked man. Leo is thrown forward, but his seatbelt prevents him from going through the windshield. Before the patrol car can even recoil from the impact, Arnie jumps out of the driver's side and hunkers down behind the open driver's side door. He aims his service revolver at the getaway car.
Put your fucking hands up, dirtbags!
Suddenly, two more patrol cars race onto the scene as Leo pushes the collapsed patrol car's passenger side door aside. As he exits the vehicle, a third patrol car pulls up quickly. The masked men in the getaway car are completely surrounded.
I'm not gonna say it again, shitbirds. Throw out your weapons and get out of the vehicle with your hands where I can see them.
Leo notices the two masked men in the car arguing with one another.
I don't know if it was a sixth sense or what, but something didn't sit quite right with me. I had this feeling that something bad was about to happen, and then it was like everything went into slow motion. The driver of the getaway rolled down the window and then tossed out his shotgun. Then Arnie slowly turned to look at me with a smile on his face when I noticed the second masked man raise up a pistol and point it towards my partner. I remember someone behind me screamed out, "Gun!" And in that split second, I drew my weapon and started pulling the trigger. I noticed my first shot went through the back driver's side window and then out the passenger side windshield. But I already pulled my trigger two more times. And the next two bullets went through the back window and into the face and head of the second perp. That was the first time I ever killed anyone. It wasn't a silhouette on the Academy firing range. It was a real human being who was about to shoot my partner, my friend, Arnie. I looked over to make sure Arnie was all right, but I couldn't see him over the top of the police cruiser. I knelt down and I noticed Arnie squatting against the driver's side door. His eyes glanced up at me as he mouthed, "Did you get him?" Once all the dust had settled, I was being debriefed by the sergeant as Arnie was being held separately to give his own account of the events. When the sergeant on the scene was finished with us, we had to take our witness statements for our reports. Our patrol car was wrecked, and it had to be towed back to the precinct. When we both finally finished relaying the events of that awful night, Arnie and I got a lift from the tow truck driver. Needless to say, it was a late night when I got home, but Louise had waited up for me. She made sure I had a hot dinner waiting for me. She didn't ask me what happened. I think she already knew something had happened, but she sat with me and caressed my shoulders and kissed my head. That night, she held me, and every so often she would whisper,
It's gonna be okay, baby. It's gonna be okay.
The next morning, Leo didn't have the same skip in his step when he left for work. Although he remembered his hat and sack lunch, he strolled down the stairs and out onto the front stoop to wait for Arnie to show up. As he waited, the image of the robber's face and head exploding from the impact of Leo's bullets kept playing out in his head. Leo was confused to see Arnie getting out of the driver's side.
"Hey, what's going on?"
Arnie tosses Leo his car keys. Leo catches the keys and holds them up for confirmation.
This morning you're gonna drive.
What about your insurance policy?
Hey, you saved my life, man. The least I can do is let you drive the car.
That next morning was uneventful. We showed up for roll call and morning report, but I was still focused on the events from the previous day. I must have been acting like some kind of jerk because Arnie addressed it immediately.
Hey, what the hell's wrong with you, Rook? You've been acting like a jagoff all morning.
Hey, I never killed anyone before yesterday, Arnie. It's just weird.
Yeah, I should have known. I don't suppose you talked to the chaplain.
No, I haven't spoken to anyone.
Oh, not even your wife? Louise did this, or Louise did that. I can't get you to pipe down about her.
No, but I think she knows something happened.
Leo smiled a bit as he recalled the sensation of his wife's fingernails lightly scratching his scalp and relaxing him so he could sleep. Once again, Leo's thoughts dissipate, and he hears his partner's muffled voice.
Did you hear me?
Leo shakes free of his thoughts and focuses on Arnie, giving him a look as if to ask, "What were you saying?"
Witnesses in the store said there were 3 guys with guns that robbed the place.
3 guys, but I only remember seeing 2 guys running out.
I know, but everyone in the store said there were 3 guys.
Arnie pulls the car into Harry's East Side Deli on 12th. Arnie was about to open his door when he stops and turns towards Leo.
You want anything from the deli?
Oh, hold on. What happened to the 3rd guy?
I don't know.
Arnie steps out of the patrol car and shuts the door behind him. Before entering the deli, Arnie leans against the open car window, making one last attempt to coax Leo into getting something.
Hey, you sure you don't want anything? I mean, they make the best Reuben sandwiches in here. They even make it the way I like it. Coleslaw instead of sauerkraut. The owner even said he was gonna name the sandwich after me, the Arnie Special or something.
No, Louise packed me a pastrami on rye.
Okay, but you're gonna regret it.
Arnie steps away and enters the deli. Leo remains in the driver's seat of the patrol car, preoccupied by the fact that there was a 3rd perpetrator who had escaped the scene the night before. Leo jumps out of the patrol car and is nearly knocked over by the frightened patrons as he rushes towards the deli entrance. A man wearing a denim jacket drops a handgun on the floor and begins to flee, but is interrupted as he comes face to face with Officer Brawn, who has just entered the deli with his service revolver drawn and aimed at him. The man in the denim jacket nervously looks at the gun on the floor.
Freeze, fucker!
With his gun aimed at the perpetrator's head, Leo glances over and notices Arnie laying on the deli floor, a pool of blood already expanding beneath him.
Arnie! Arnie, you okay? Arnie! Apparently, the man in the denim jacket was the 3rd perp that got away, and he recognized Arnie. And we later found out that he was hiding in plain sight. He was milling about the onlookers as Arnie crashed into their getaway car. When we interrogated him, we learned that he thought Arnie had shot and killed his brother, who was sitting in the passenger seat. Perp had no idea that when he stopped into the deli, he was going to run into the guy that he believed killed his brother. He just walked up behind Arnie and shot him in the back without saying a word. Arnie didn't deserve to go out like that. Apparently, Arnie had just gotten his sandwich from the cashier and was about to leave. Poor bastard never got a chance to enjoy his favorite sandwich or the fact that they named it after him. I guess that's why I get one any chance I get. Now, Arnie, he wasn't just my partner. We grew up together. See, we were more than friends. He was my older cousin. When he joined the force, I knew I had to do the same. He helped me study so I could get into the academy, and then when I graduated, he pulled some strings so he could be my mentor. Now, I may not be a fan of sauerkraut, but When you mix it with hot corned beef and Thousand Island dressings and coleslaw, it's not half bad.
Willie is still standing in the doorway, waiting for Leo to respond.
So what do you say? You want to come join us and see if Felix's Reuben sandwich is worth it? You'll regret it if you don't.
You know what? That sounds like an excellent idea.
Shoestring TV presents the Arnie Special, Leo Brawn Story. Written by L.J. Mainville, Jr. and produced by Jason Beard. The cast of the Arnie Special is Stitch Mainville as Leo Brawn, Mike Pelletier as Arnie, Terry Briscoe as Willie Topaz, Stephanie Johnson as Louise Brawn, and narrated by Michael Cunningham as Detective Norman Laddie Wallace.
The characters and events depicted in this podcast are fictional. Any similarity to any actual persons, living or dead, or to actual events, firms, places, and institutions, or other entities is coincidental and unintentional. This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Its unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability and criminal prosecution. Country of first publication, the United States of America. Leo Brawn, copyright 2024, Shoestring TV. Leo Brawn and all related characters are trademark and copyright of Shoestring TV. All rights reserved.